Hello, Dark Shades. Well, I'm Dark Shades. Hello, subscribers. You might think, oh, where have I been? Has it been a little remiss of me to leave you so long? I think sometimes it's best not to say anything at all if you've got nothing to say. And I think that's how I've been feeling recently. I've been thinking, what can I say that's really going to benefit my subscribers? And sometimes I don't know. There are so many different situations, and I don't know if I can offer any support, guidance, information that's going to really benefit. So then I just go stum. But today, or this evening, I have to say, I decided to speak about how the lockdown might be affecting people, especially those who are on their own, even people who are not on their own. They do say that you can be lonely even in company, depending on the person that you're with. If you're with somebody who doesn't talk, who's giving you the silent treatment, you can feel lonely even in company. And so I was thinking about, you know, people who up until Sunday thought that they would have the opportunity to meet up with people outside their immediate bubble just for a few days. And then they're told on Sunday that that's no longer possible, that only the people who they live with they're allowed to spend time with, and then one other person outside that bubble can they see outside. And there are so many vulnerable people living in homes where they're being abused, male and female. I work for a service where men are being abused just as much as women, maybe not on the same degree, but they're being abused just as much. Some of them are too embarrassed to say anything. So you've got people living in abusive relationships. You've got children who are watching parents abuse each other. And then you've got parents who take it out on the children. And you have step parents who take it out even worse on the children. So this lockdown isn't just about the coronavirus and preventing it from harming the other people. In fact, people are more likely to be harmed in the home than they are by the coronavirus. That's just my opinion. Because I don't think that the government has thought about the mental impact of that that release that people need. I mean, how could they possibly, when they're rich and they're probably in places where the tears don't affect them. They have their family who they're normally, I don't want to stereotype, but I would imagine that rich families, they have their parents and their grandparents and their children, and that's it. Normally 2.1 child, or however they work it out, a mother and a father, and they are so happy just to have that small core group, that nuclear family. They are quite happy with that. They don't really understand, well, not all of them, but the majority of them don't really understand why people have to socialize outside that bubble, that nuclear family. They don't see the point. And if they have small families, they won't understand why people who have large families feel disgruntled by the lockdown or feel deprived. They're not going to understand that. Close-knit families, like some Asian families that can be large, as can some African families, they can be quite large. But and close knit, and they might not live in close proximity. And Christmas times is the time that they choose or that they set aside to spend with their family. And to be told that you cannot see your family, and it's almost like what they're forcing people to do is to, like what they're doing with people who have been deported. They're saying if you want to maintain a relationship with your children, you have Skype, you have Zoom, you have Microsoft Teams, you have these other softwares where you can still make contact. You just don't see them physically. Is that where we're heading? And if it is, how does that make you feel? Thing is, like I always say, you cannot change the outcome. You might want to react to the outcome or react to what's going on, but the only thing you can change is the things that you can control. That's the only thing when you're reacting you should be responding to yourself, what you can control within your little perimeter. And because otherwise, like a lot of people, they're going to get depressed, they're going to feel lonely, they're going to exaggerate symptoms, and they're going to exaggerate outcomes. It really is important to keep your eye on the ball, to keep focused, to make sure that what is happening is really happening and you haven't blown it out of proportion. It's not easy. I'm not saying it's easy, especially if you've lost your job, or especially if you're reliant on universal credit and they've stopped your claim, or you've broken up with your husband or your spouse, your partner, whatever you want to call the other individual, and you're in a situation now where you want to be with somebody and it looks a bit gloomy out there. It's important, number one, to be hopeful. Hope gives you a little bit of joy, it gives you a little bit of peace. If you can be hopeful about a better future, you will feel a lot better. If you're looking at the future as being bleak, no control, terrible, this is going to happen, that's going to happen, then you're not going to be very happy. People can feel happy by themselves. It's society that tells people they should be with someone. When society tells you you should be with someone, it makes you feel that when you're not, you're some kind of outcast or there's something wrong with you. No, there isn't. Living on your own is absolutely fine. It's your attitude towards living on your own that's the problem, not living on your own in and of itself. You need to be saying to yourself, I love my own company. Nobody here nagging, nobody telling me what to do, nobody leaving the top of the toothbrush, nobody leaving the toilet seat up, nobody leaving plates in the sink, nobody leaving clothes on the floor. It's just I, myself, and me. And love it. Love who you are. Love being with yourself. Fall in love with yourself. That's a key thing to do. Because if you can fall in love with yourself, you are enough. And you don't need any third party. You don't need anybody coming up and taking up your space, taking up your energy, taking up your, everything. Because that's what people do. They come into your life, they drain you, they sap you dry, and then they leave you. And I don't mean physically leave you. I mean, sometimes it's just the way that people are. They do, a lot of people can drain you, if not emotionally, physically, financially, one way or another. They can literally drain you. And whether it's just asking you questions all the time, or whether it's doing things that you don't like and you've got no control over, and it could be a number of things, but it is about trying to get in control with who you are, what you like, and look after yourself. And don't think that just because you're on your own that there's something wrong, that you'll never meet anyone if you do want to meet with someone. I always think about first dates. 79, 80, they're still meeting people. You just have to have an open heart and a loving spirit. That's all you need. Just those two ingredients will help make it to the next step, where you meet somebody and you start talking and you get on. A lot of men don't know what they want. You have to let them know that you are what they want, because they don't know. A lot of them, they think they know what they want, but they don't. So it's up to you to tell them that you are the prize. And so, yeah, I'm not even quite sure where I started or where I ended, but I think this is more or less talking about how to feel better within these circumstances. And I hope somewhere amongst it all, there's a little bit of sense. That's all for now. Bye-bye.